This is proof right here. This is cold hard facts and evidence. The ACC commissioner is straight up lying about their generated revenue. You can't make this stuff up, and what makes it even 10 times better is everyone in the comments, they're seeing straight through it and they're calling him out for his BS. Welp, this is a rather fascinating situation to say the least. With all of the chaos going on in college football, the NIL, transfer portal, quarterback battles, just everything going on, everything we've talked about up until this point, one thing that is laid low and under the radar is the ACC. As we all know, or should know by this point in time, the ACC has overtaken the Pac-12 for the worst Power 5 conference, and it's not even close. The ACC is pitiful, it is flat out embarrassing, but whoa, hold on. I know what some of you are sitting there saying, well, Matt, how can you say that? And just like when anything and everything I say, I got facts and evidence to back it up. If you don't want to take my word for it, that's cool, but here's one thing you need to understand. The ACC, when it comes to revenue, it's not generating a lot. So what does that mean when your conference isn't generating a lot of revenue? That means these teams don't receive as much revenue. When your teams like Florida State, Clemson, Miami, etc., they see their revenues going down, what does that lead them to do? Look at other options. And ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what is going on. We're going to talk all about that in today's video, how Clemson, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina, NC State, Virginia, and Virginia Tech, which are being labeled as the quote-unquote Magnificent Seven, are exploring other options. This situation has been going on the past couple of days, and I've been following it very closely the past couple of days. That's why I've waited to make this video. But now at this point in time, there's a lot of details that have came out, and yeah, when you see some of this stuff, I think it'll definitely pique your interest. You already know how it goes. If you like college football content, consider joining our community. We would love to have you here. All right, Matt, blah, 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 shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. I say we get straight into it. I don't think you guys will mind whatsoever. News came out about 2 or 3 days ago that Clemson, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina State, Virginia, and Virginia Tech are exploring leaving the ACC. You see it right here. It was trending all over Twitter and Instagram. And by the way, shout out to my man Donovan. He tagged this to me first, and he's always tagged me and stuff. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I can't speak for y'all, but when I first saw that, I was like, whoa, holy crap. 7 ACC schools? And you're talking about some of the biggest name brands of college football are looking to leave? What's going on? I had so much stuff running through my mind, like, okay, are they going to leave? And if they do leave, well, where are they going to go? Because obviously the SEC is the first choice, but the SEC is kind of full. So then the second choice would be the Big Ten, but also the Big Ten, they're getting USC and some Pac-12 schools, so there's a lot to it. There's so many options that could play out here, so that's why it's so fascinating to me, at least. This was all being first reported by Brett McMurphy about 2 days ago, and here's the first tweet he put out. And this is arguably the most important one, so please pay attention. As you see right here, Clemson, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina, NC State, Virginia, and Virginia Tech are the quote-unquote Magnificent Seven ACC schools. All of these schools have met in the past several months with lawyers examining grant of rights to determine just how unbreakable it is. If you don't know what the grant of rights is, let me try to dumb this down the best way possible, because all this legal schmeagle talk, it can get complicated. Basically, long story short, with the grant of rights, they're trying to see if they can escape their deal, which, I'll show it to you right here, runs through 2036. Yeah, that's a long time. It's not like this deal runs through 2026. We're talking about 2036, another 13 years. So all of these schools, the 7 schools you see right here, they're trying to see if they can somehow find a loophole or break or escape away from this contract. I know that's a lot to take in. And with that being said, with this tweet and all this information going on, I would love nothing more to sit up here and tell you guys, hey, I got some inside source that is telling me the SEC wants North Carolina, Virginia, Florida State, so on and so on, but I have none of that. I myself don't have any inside source that has told me any information about this whatsoever, outside of what you see right here that I'm reporting on. In the past, yes, we've heard about these 7 teams exploring options, but we haven't seen it to this degree. It really seems like this is something they're trying to do. There's a lot more to this we're about to dive into and take a look at, but with that being said right there, what do y'all think about that? Because obviously, I know the SEC one day it may be a super mega conference and I'm all for that, but they're not going to take in 7 teams. That's not going to happen, and I have a hard time believing the SEC would even take in 4 teams. I think at max they'd take 2 from the ACC. You're looking at probably either Clemson, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina, or Virginia. I think when when it comes to NC State and Virginia Tech, the SEC don't even care. And those are just possibilities. I don't even think it has a great chance of happening. For the Big Ten, though, I think it's a little interesting because we know the Big Ten is trying to compete with the SEC, so they may try to get some of these new schools. I feel like the Big Ten, to catch up to the SEC, would have the mentality of quantity over quality. Whereas the SEC at this point in time is, hey, we want quality over quantity. Because you got to think about this, let me remind you, the SEC now has Oklahoma and Texas. Those are arguably two of the best programs you could add to your conference. But let's continue to move on here. Also, news came out where Brett Murphy tweeted this out. ACC athletic directors emerged from a 4-hour meeting with Commissioner Jim Phillips just now in Amelia Islands and said they're not allowed to talk to the media. Interesting that they couldn't talk to the media. I wonder what that's all about. No, I'm just playing. We know what it's about. He don't want them spilling the beans, talking about the news. Continuing along here, yesterday, McMurphy tweeted out again, Florida State Athletic Director Michael Alford said ACC discussing several revenue distribution options, but admitted they won't get close to SEC or Big Ten numbers. Quote unquote, Florida State's Athletic Director stated, we're never going to cover the entire gap, but it will allow you to be competitive. Wow, what do y'all think about that? They're just coming out and saying, the athletic directors of the ACC, yeah, we know we can't even compete with the SEC and Big Ten. We just try to keep it close the gap. To me, at least, if I'm the AD of Clemson, Florida State, Miami, Virginia, etc., I don't want to be a part of a league that's third best and it's not even close to first or second. But hey, that's just me. And the reason the revenue is so low is because the ACC, it's irrelevant compared to the SEC and Big Ten. As much crap as I give Big Ten fans and the Big Ten Conference, their conference is, when it comes to generating money, right up there with the SEC. They're not far behind. Also yesterday, here's what Jim Phillips, Commissioner of ACC, had to say. This statement was referring to the teams wanting to explore options. That's not a warning sign. These are schools that are under a lot of stress, a lot of pressure. Reality is our conference is third in the country in media rights distribution. We need to close the gap with the top two conferences. What is everybody saying? All these athletic directors. Yeah, we're in third, but we want to close the gap from third to second, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, why don't you check out this chart right here that says otherwise and proves otherwise that the ACC commissioner is lying. This chart I'm showing you right here is the average estimated payout per member, which is per team for every conference. In first place, we got the Big Ten with $89.4 million. Okay, that's not too bad. In second place, we got the SEC with $82.3 million. In third place, we got the Big 12 at $66.7. In fourth place, we got the Pac-12 at $60.3 million. And last but not least, not even close to fourth place, in last place, we got the ACC with $51.4 million. And by the way, as you can see right here, this is also over a 10-year span. This is proof right here. This is cold hard facts and evidence. The ACC commissioner is straight up lying about their generated revenue. You can't make this stuff up. And what makes it even 10 times better is everyone in the comments, they're seeing straight through it and they're calling him out for his BS. And it's not just the commissioner, it's everybody a part of the ACC. This is a big fabricated lie. Just like this comment says right here. By what metric are they third? Big 12 has been a consistent third for years, and with their new deal, they look to maintain that even after losing Texas and Oklahoma. So going back to this tweet right there where they're talking about, hey, we just need to close the gap from third and second. Well, you're not even in third place, buddy. You're in last. You can't make this stuff up. Look, I get it. It's embarrassing to say, yeah, we're last in media rights. We're last in revenue that we're going to pay our teams. But it is what it is. You got to face reality. You can't sit here and lie to yourself and lie to these teams and say, oh, yeah, we're in third place when you're not. You're in last. And also, these teams have realized that. And they're like, you know what? This is BS. And that's why they're looking to leave. Continuing along here, Jim Phillips also stated this about being third behind the SEC in the Big Ten and media rights. It's never good enough. Anything else we can do to close that gap will exponentially help our schools. We're figuring this thing out. I know the reports, the conversations. I feel like we have a really connected group. Ah, yes, you have a really connected group. Nothing like it. You can't make this up. Nothing like people a part of your group making it publicly clear they're looking to leave and you coming up and saying, oh, yeah, we're really connected. No, you're not. You're not connected, because if you were connected, they wouldn't be looking to leave. Let me put this into a better perspective. This is like you finding out your girlfriend cheated on you, Then you talk to one of your homeboys 2 days later and you're like, yeah, we're doing really great. Things are awesome. No, they're not awesome. She cheated on you. Same thing here. It's just straight BS. But to go on top of that, even more BS statements, Jim Phillips stated that he is confident the magnificent 7 schools that are looking to leave, they're now on board. Quote unquote, Jim Phillips said, what I've been told is we're on this thing together, emphatically. We all believe in the ACC. We want to continue to work together. Ladies and gentlemen, that is nothing more than coach talk and coach speak. That is a straight up lie. Yeah, sure, buddy. You're all in this together up until Clemson, Florida State, Miami, North Carolina, Virginia get a big time offer from another bigger conference and a better conference. Let me put it this way. You don't see any SEC team trying to escape or even look to escape the SEC. Why is that? Because it's sweet right now. That is the best conference, and it's only going to get bigger and better from here on out. The greatest comparison I can give you is the ACC is a stock that used to be good in the market, but now it's just continuing to go down and down and down. And at this point in time, your people that have invested into the stock, Clemson, North Carolina, the entire Magnificent Seven, they're like, well, let me get out now so I don't lose even more money. They're looking at it like, yeah, the stock's going down. Let me get out while it's still relatively decent. I believe, and I'm about 92% confident when I say this, that the ACC is complete dunzos. You're not paying your teams what they're worth, and those teams, they know that. That's why they're looking to leave. Let me put it this way. Let me pull up this chart again. In 2029, at least, according to these estimated, payouts, Ole freaking Miss, and Mississippi State are going to make $82.3 million. Meanwhile, Miami, Clemson, and Florida State are going to make $50 million. Think about that. Think about that for a second. Do y'all honestly believe Ole Miss and Mississippi State are bigger name brands and more valuable to the sport of college football than Florida State, Miami, and Clemson? And even North Carolina, you can throw them in there. And here's the thing. These ACC schools, they're not wanting to be paid the same as the Big Ten or SEC. They just want to close the gap. You're talking about a $30 million difference from Mississippi State and Clemson. You see what I'm saying? If it was 80-75, not a big deal. But the fact it's 80-50, yeah, big deal. There's a lot going on. I know there was a lot to this video, and it's a lot to take in. But let me know your thoughts down below. But roll a minute.